apologize to me for being born into my world. Escanor, dude, oh my god, when I read those words, that last page, you just see him looking like a monster. Muscular, his clothes are all proportioned, snugly fit on him now, not looking like that fucking retarded, wimpy version of himself that we saw at the end of last chapter. We all knew Nakaba Sensei was trolling us. But to finally see, we knew he had a different form. We knew there was some sort of transformation with his sacred treasure. We were all speculating. It all comes to fruition. In the daytime, as it gets closer to daytime, Escanor transforms. Physically, the only physical change I see right now is that he's fucking jacked right now. And clearly, there's a personality shift. He is not the same as he was even at the beginning of this chapter when he was talking to Meliodas. And he's kind of wimpy and scared. Cowardice was there. He's running away from the Vampire King. Now he's like, apologize to me for being born into my world. Because you see the Vampire King kind of being like, oh, you fool, this is my realm, this is my world, my domain. It's constantly night here. Escanor's like, no. You see that sin of pride showing itself. The beast is about to be unleashed. Oh my fucking god. Nanatsu no Taizai. The Vampires of Edinburgh, Part 2. The side story. Let's dive into this, because we get a lot. But that Escanor, that last page, I can't wait to see him go in Part 3, dude. It's gonna be fucking crazy, because the Vampire King looks beast. I'm not gonna lie. The Vampire King looks beast. I wouldn't put it, I would never say that the Vampire King could take any of the sins, in all honesty, because it's fucking 7 deadly sins. Let's be real here. It's the fucking 7 deadly sins. They're too real. They're too real, right? But Escanor's about to wreck this fool right now, dude. The hubris was real. Escanor's like, no, I'm the proud one. Apologize to me. It's my world. Everything in it. Oh my god. Okay, let's break away from that. I kind of want to stick with talking about Escanor since I was on this whole Escanor fanboy shit. I can already tell Escanor is going to become, an amazing character going forward. I can already tell I'm going to love his character when he's actually introduced in the manga once again. Barring, I don't know what's up with the old man look, if he's changed since this time, because we know this was, sometime in the past, so like 10 years in the past, or so. So, let's dive into his personality, though. In his normal kind of weak and skinny form that, Nakaba was trolling us with before, and in the beginning of this chapter, the only thing that I really got out of the dialogue between him and Meliodas that I really liked was that he's fanboying like crazy over Merlin. He's infatuated. He loves her, dude. And that right there, I'm just like, yo, I can dig it, dude. I can get behind that. Merlin x fucking Escanor. That sounds nice to me. Let's go. Let's start shipping Merlin x Escanor. Let's do it. Let's do it right now, because that sounds nice. I can see it being an unrequited thing. As Meliodas says, Merlin just takes interest in interesting things. She's just a whore for knowledge. And, I still, to this day, I still can't 100% trust Merlin. Just because of how much, how her fingers are in everything. There has to be some sort of crazy endgame. And I'm not saying that she's evil. I have to repeat myself time and time again. But she has some sort of ulterior motive. You see, even in this chapter, she picks up that eye. I wonder what the significance of that could be. Going back to everything with Balor's eye and everything like that. Could it be related to that? But she picks up that eye. And she's like, I found something interesting. But that's neither here nor there, right? Escanor loves Merlin. I like that. I like to see that dynamic. That's tight. Now, other aspects of this chapter, the big thing, honestly, for me, is more build-up for Meliodas and Zeldris and Estarossa of the 10 Commandments. If they're not related, at this point, it just won't make any sense to me. It really won't. Like, straight up, you see Meliodas confronting these 2 female vampires, and this one is going crazy in a rage, giving us more exposition to everything about the vampire clan, how they were sealed away 3,000 years ago, and supposedly it was Zeldris that did it. And the whole time she was going in on Meliodas, she's like, I'll never forget you. You're the one that broke the treaty and sealed us away and everything like that. I'll never forget that face. I'm thinking, okay, Estarossa, like, so we're getting more of the build-up and the play between Estarossa and Meliodas. But when she said Zeldris, it didn't strike me as odd, because when you think about Zeldris, when he was first presented, we all saw it before. We knew Estarossa was looking like the wanted poster of Meliodas. We knew that when we saw the silhouette. But when we saw Zeldris' face, he has the same demon clan symbol on his face. Granted, he has black eyes and black hair and is swept back. His face looks exactly like Meliodas, barring those two changes. So I can understand how there's some sort of relationship there. Who knows what his form was like in the past? Who knows the depths of their association? But I'm still sticking with either they're brothers, they're related in some way, or Meliodas is some sort of clone of Estarossa or Zeldris or something like that. Those are the only things that I see going down. And the way I feel, and a lot of us feel, I think at this point, they're related by blood. They're brothers. So that was nice to get more exposition into, you know, the build-up with the Ten Commandments, the Demon Clan as a whole, Meliodas' connection to Estarossa and Zeldris through this story, and finding out that actually Zeldris sealed away and broke this treaty between the Vampire Clan and the Demon Clan, sealed them away 3,000 years ago, which puts the scope and the time frame in perspective as well, with everything with the Goddess Clan, the fairies, all this shit going on. Of course, the Giants have receded at this point, but like the exposition and getting it through this side chapter is actually really good to get us hyped for what's going on right now in the canon. So, really interesting there. The next big thing for me this chapter, though, was my boy Bond. Everybody knows I love Bond, okay? Everybody knows Bond is my favorite Sith. Gowther's second favorite. Gowther, me and Gowther are in a weird kind of, you know, tumultuous time right now. But that's neither here nor there. Bond this chapter, dude. The drunken Bond. I was dying, dude. I was dying. He's fucking stealing powers, not only from the enemies, fucking around and trolling King and Diane, taking their powers away from them and whatnot with his thief ability. I'm just like, dude, Bond, you're fucking hilarious when you're drunk. I forgot about Bond's drunk trolling. Like, remember, that's how he got that scar on his neck in the first place. Being drunk and fucking around with Meliodas and be like, oh, let me see the demon. I'm like, oh my god, this is fucking hilarious, dude. And then he's like, fight me, Merlin, fight me. And Merlin just easily fucks with his head and is like, do push-ups. And it was just nice comedy surrounding my boy Bond and just getting, you know, to see that side of his personality that I haven't seen in a long time. And it was really interesting to see that. And plus, the fight between him and that one vampire chick that just punctured a bunch of holes into him last chapter and was kind of siphoning it, the way it went down, it was utterly disgusting. She was fiending, you saw like the fucking drool dripping from her mouth, and she's like, oh, I haven't had blood in so long, blood, and she like absorbed it, and we find out because she gets so big, and what she says, Bond's blood constantly regenerates just like the rest of his body. What was interesting to me, and I don't know if the vampires have some sort of immortality in and of themselves being vampires, you know, or some sort of longevity at the very least, I was wondering, because with the recent chapter of Taizai, when we see Bond in the Fairy King Forest and he's, you know, feeding the tree his blood, basically, as nourishment, I'm wondering if his blood now, since he drank from the Fountain of Youth, has these kinds of properties, would she, by drinking it, gain some sense of immortality? It doesn't seem the case. She wrecks her. It's not confirmed that she's dead or anything, but I found that interesting. If you drink Blonde's blood, what happens? Because we know there's adverse effects like Hendrickson drinking the Demon Clan's blood. What if you drink the blood of somebody who's drank from the Fountain of Youth, seeing as how his blood nourishes the fairy tree? Just something to keep in mind. I don't know how it played, and they didn't go too in-depth with it, but it was really interesting to see that fight break down. Just Bond's constant trolling, dude. He's fucking ridiculous. Such a fiend. I love him. I absolutely love him. Great chapter, dude. This side story. Vampires at Edinburgh, like, I feel like I'm watching a Taizai OVA or movie or something like that, straight up. It doesn't even, like, that's how good it's been with exposing the world and building things up, introducing Escanor. The art has been on point. Nakaba Suzuki, man, in the last year, like, not 2015, 2014, okay, and over that year, Nakaba Suzuki just has continued to grow and grow as one of my favorite mangaka. Like, straight up, he's too real. He's too fucking real. I think that's pretty much it. You know, you have King and Diane there. You know, a little bit of comedy between King and Diane. You see King, like, just looking at her. He's like, oh, she's too cute. Classic love between King and Diane. Merlin, you know, the suspicious air still lingers, but and everything with the eye and whatnot going on. But the biggest thing between Merlin right now for me with this chapter is just the fact that fucking Escanor, you know, fanboys hard over her. So that's pretty interesting to see. Then you have the build-up with Meliodas and continuing to, you know, play up the links between him and, you know, the Ten Commandments and the Demon Clan. And, of course, my boy Escanor at this point. Escanor is just too real. He's fucking, that line, that last, he hasn't even done anything yet. All he's done is fucking bulk up and say those words. And I'm like, holy fucking shit, dude. This is about to get real. So let me know your thoughts on this side chapter, part 2, Vampires of Edinburgh, and I'm out. Peace.